Hello, and welcome to Cozy Bedtime, a snug little spot where evening stories and gentle relaxation lead the way to a peaceful night's sleep. Tonight, we share another soothing tale designed to calm your thoughts and invite a sense of comforting tranquility. But first, let's pause for a moment to prepare body and mind for rest. Find a comfortable position, and with each slow inhale and gentle exhale, imagine the day's worries drifting away. Detaching from daily busyness can be tough, especially as bedtime nears. But remember, the less we worry about falling asleep, the more easily our minds can release lingering tension. Allow the gentle rhythm of your breathing to wash away any leftover concerns, and let tonight's story guide you into deep relaxation. Now, settle in and let the warm, comforting atmosphere of cozy bedtime envelop you. Enjoy the story, and may your night be peaceful and restorative. Agra breathes the cool hush of dawn, the year 1640 etched onto the quiet air. Crisp against the skin, the atmosphere carries the scent of river water and damp earth. Nearly complete, the resplendent structure known as the Taj Mahal, the crown jewel, stands sentinel, a monument whispered into existence by Emperor Khurram's profound devotion to his departed consort, Arjuman Banu, whose earthly remains found solace within its embrace years prior. Conceived as their shared eternal repose, its pearlescent luminescence already hints at the legend it is destined to become. An unparalleled testament to love, irrevocably etched in stone. You linger at the threshold now, inhaling the sharp tang of the morning. Poised on the Yamuna's southern flank, the edifice radiates a blinding whiteness under the nascent sky. Though the river itself remains unseen from this particular vantage, its distant rhythmic murmur weaves through the air, a liquid counterpoint to the delicate, intermittent trills of awakening birds. This unfolding symphony, fragile yet deeply resonant, instills a quiet gratitude for this solitary communion with burgeoning magnificence. Somewhere, carried softly upon the breeze, a lone voice unfurls an early prayer, its melodic contours merging seamlessly with the river's sigh and the avian chorus. Closing your eyes, you surrender to the sound, at once a balm and a profound invocation. Beyond these hallowed walls, the city of Agra stirs. The steady tread of farmers heading towards unseen fields, the soft bleating of flocks guided by shepherds through awakening lanes, the sharp, echoing clarion calls of roosters from various quarters. Each sound arrives with crystalline distinction. Today's horizon, uncluttered save for the Taj and a scattering of other vibrant domes in the distance, offers an unobstructed canvas for the sunrise. Streaks of nascent yellow and fiery orange bleed across the heavens, complementing the distant cupolas of crimson and azure. Though Emperor Khurram shifted his imperial capital north to Delhi 2 years past, Agra retains the indelible signature of his patronage, a city adorned, embellished by his fervent passion for architectural grace. The Taj may represent the ultimate jewel in his crown of creations, yet the landscape is studded besides with handsome edifices of ruddy brick, testament to a sustained imperial favor. Khurram, fourth sovereign of the formidable Mughal line, an empire sprawling from the Indus heartlands across vast swathes of India, Afghanistan, and territories now known as Pakistan championed the arts with unwavering zeal. Under Mughal stewardship, elements of sophisticated Persian aesthetics permeated South Asia, weaving a rich cultural fabric whose intricate threads would endure far into the future. Here, in this corner of India, this legacy manifests most strikingly in stone. The ubiquitous slender minarets piercing the sky beside mosques, the elaborate, almost lace-like carvings that adorn countless surfaces, the characteristic swelling grace of rounded domes crowning structures like the one commanding your present gaze. While this mausoleum gleams with quarried marble, a luxury far beyond common reach, many humbler structures glimpsed during your passage through the awakening city wore colorful skins of glazed tilework. Marble's cost reserved it for the most significant undertakings. But all paths, it seemed this morning, converged inevitably here at the gates of this singular monument, this elegy in stone. Soon, the anticipated opportunity arises to observe the master builder himself, Ustad Isa Shirazi, as he orchestrates the final meticulous flourishes upon this magnum opus. You traverse the expansive courtyard where Ustad Isa Shirazi moves with measured, deliberate steps. A figure of quiet authority, tall and bearded beneath his elegantly wound turban. His gaze is deep, contemplative, missing no detail. He surveys the vast open expanse, destined soon to transform into a verdant paradise, envisioning the Sharbagh Garden, a four-quartered paradise garden, bisected by a long shimmering channel of the purest water, the famed reflecting pool, which will be flanked by verdant walls of cypress trees. He pauses, scrutinizing alignments, ensuring all is prepared for the imminent transformation. You trail him, attempting to match his unhurried pace, yet allowing your own senses the freedom to absorb the unique ambience. The garden's intended design, echoing the Quranic vision of Eden with its four symbolic rivers flowing from a central fount, already imbues the nascent space with a palpable serenity. Even from a distance, the mausoleum commands unwavering attention, yet proximity reveals a profound architectural truth. Every surrounding element, every sightline, conspires to elevate the central structure, making it the undeniable cynosure. It captures the eye, holds it captive in its luminous embrace. Bathed now in the strengthening first rays of the sun, the marble possesses an almost liquid luminescence, its polished white-gray surface immaculate, pristine, as if freshly unveiled only moments ago. Sourced from the quarries of Makrana in distant Rajasthan, renowned for yielding the world's most exquisite marble, only such peerless stone was deemed worthy of the emperor's cherished Arjuman. Yet, its breathtaking brilliance is not solely marble-born. Beneath the luminous skin lies a robust heart of sandstone, strategically clad and reinforced by thick plates of marble, marrying formidable structural integrity with unparalleled aesthetic perfection. Dominating the entire complex is the immense central dome, bulbous and ethereal, soaring over 70 meters to etch a commanding, unforgettable silhouette against the vast Indian sky. Four elegant, slender minarets stand sentinel at the corners of the raised platform, detached yet intrinsically integral to the composition, framing the main tomb, lending perspective and accentuating its sublime majesty. Their own smaller, delicately domed crowns subtly echo the central motif. The entire ensemble, a breathtaking symphony of form deeply resonant with traditional Persian architectural harmonies. The great dome curves skyward, impossibly smooth, utterly flawless, defying the very notion that such fluid, seamless perfection could be coaxed from intractable, heavy stone. Beneath your feet, the nascent lawn, still awaiting its full glory, yields softly, cushioning your deliberate, almost reverent approach towards the gorgeous monument. Its sheer scale, its radiant, almost sentient presence, resists easy comprehension. The eye struggles to encompass its totality at once. The dome's magnificence dazzles, compels you to gaze intently, to imprint this vision indelibly upon the fabric of your memory, forever. Near the massive base, a set of steps offers temporary respite to a handful of artisans. They pause in their labors, perhaps sharing morning sustenance, preparing themselves for another day dedicated to the meticulous tasks that lie ahead, tending the intricate relief carvings, the delicate inlays, the flowing calligraphy that adorns nearly every surface of this sanctuary. It is this very artistry, the palpable human devotion poured into every minute detail, that draws you inexorably closer. Ustad Isa Shirazi halts before the main portal, the Pishtak, a structure as monumental and imposing as the tomb it guards. A soaring, pointed arch crowns it, its spandrels alive with complex, deeply carved floral reliefs. Panels inscribed with elegant Arabic script flank the immense entranceway, some appearing complete, others still awaiting the final touches of the calligrapher's hand. You imagine these resting workers are the very hands shaping these intricate forms, their skill nothing short of breathtaking. Leaning in, you trace with your eyes the fine black inlay against the pristine white marble, the script rendered with exquisite precision, its elegant curves and flourishes seeming almost to dance upon the stone surface. This imposing gateway bears a profound inscription, one completed decades earlier, back in 1609, a legacy from a previous era incorporated into this grand design. O soul, thou art at rest. Return to the Lord at peace with him, and he at peace with you. Verses selected from the Quran grace many surfaces throughout the complex, poignant reminders of the mausoleum's sacred purpose as a final resting place. Decorative motifs intertwine everywhere, stylized blossoms, intricate geometric abstractions, flowing vegetal patterns reminiscent of paradise. In numerous places, the marble yields to precisely inlaid pieces of black jasper, its dark, somber luster providing sharp, dramatic contrast. Even the scale and placement of the calligraphy demonstrate meticulous forethought. Inscriptions positioned high above are rendered significantly larger, ensuring their legibility for observers standing far below on the ground. No element, however seemingly small or insignificant, feels accidental. Profound intention permeates every line, every curve, every choice of material. You follow Ustad Isa Shirazi as he moves towards the central chamber within the heart of the main structure. As you approach, the vast, resonant space within hums softly with the subtle sounds of ongoing creation. Artisans ply their craft against the delicate marble walls. The rhythmic, gentle tap, tap, tap of small hammers striking fine chisels echoing softly in the expansive stillness. Occasionally, a worker pauses. There's the soft, huff of breath, clearing away fine stone dust, a brief moment of intense scrutiny, and then the gentle percussion resumes its steady cadence. The measured, unhurried rhythm of their work invites a similarly contemplative exploration. Gazing upwards, the immense concave underside of the great dome curves majestically above, its polished marble surface catching and refracting the incoming light with the same dazzling brilliance as the exterior. Sunlight streams through intricately carved marble screens, J-less, set deep into the walls, bathing the vast chamber in a warm, ethereal golden wash. Within these luminous shafts of light, microscopic dust motes dance and swirl lazily, like powdered sugar drifting through a sieve, occasionally catching the light at just the right angle to glint momentarily like scattered jewels. These window screens themselves are breathtaking marvels of craftsmanship, meticulously pierced and carved from solid marble slabs into delicate, interlacing geometric and floral patterns that seem impossibly fine, almost fragile. The light, filtered and softened by this intricate tracery, suffuses the entire room with an otherworldly glow. The space feels utterly pristine, profoundly new, touched by very few souls thus far, retaining the unique, almost sacred aura of the newly wrought. Those subtle remnants of the intensive construction process, a stray wooden ladder leaning against a wall, a simple timber platform in a corner, still linger. Most of the heavy equipment has clearly been cleared away. In one corner, a lone worker sweeps the polished marble floor with a simple handmade broom crafted from bound bamboo stalks. Its rhythmic, gentle swish swish, a soft, soothing counterpoint to the distant, delicate tapping of the artisan's tools. Your focus inevitably returns to the architect, Ustad Isa Shirazi. He now stands before a section of wall partitioning this grand space from the inner sanctum, his keen attention fixed upon something specific. Drawn by an irresistible curiosity, you approach, noticing distinctive features unique to this area. Shallow, elegantly curved alcoves recessed into the marble on either side of the doorway, leading deeper within. Gently arched, subtly pointed at their apex, their smooth edges receive the architect's careful, tactile scrutiny as he runs an index fingertip slowly along a curve, assessing its flawless evenness, determining if any further sanding or refinement is required. His meticulous, unwavering devotion to achieving absolute perfection in every facet of this creation is palpable, almost humbling. Satisfied with the alcoves, he shifts his gaze to the vibrant decoration surrounding them. A dazzling, multicolored tapestry of exquisitely rendered blossoms, sinuous vines, and scrolling leaves executed in a profusion of rich hues. Predominantly lapis blue and golden ochre, accented with carnelian oranges, jade greens, and subtle umber browns, the intricate patterns interlace with fluid, effortless grace, like visual poetry rendered in stone. Moving nearer still to admire the astonishing detail, a startling, wonderful realization dawns. This is no painting. Before you lies a masterful, breathtaking example of pietra dura, the intricate, painstaking art of inlaying precisely cut, vibrantly colored semi-precious stones into a meticulously prepared marble base to create complex images. Close, careful inspection reveals the almost invisible seams where polished segments of jasper, agate, carnelian, and lapis lazuli meet the surrounding white marble, forming patterns that brilliantly mimic the finest brushstrokes when viewed from even a short distance. The immense patience, the unwavering focus, the sheer dexterity required for such work staggers the imagination. You can almost envision the devoted artisan, brow deeply furrowed in concentration, meticulously setting each tiny, perfectly shaped tessera just so, then stepping back periodically to critically inspect his handiwork. Instinctively, you take a step back yourself, attempting to grasp the overall effect, the perspective the craftsman himself must have sought. The illusion is truly remarkable. The floral motifs seem utterly fluid, imbued with life, as if painted onto the surface with the most delicate of brushes. Being so extraordinarily new, their colors possess an intense, almost jewel-like vibrancy, a chromatic promise that subtly mirrors and foreshadows the living blooms destined soon to flourish in the extensive gardens planned for the exterior. Across the way, Ustad Isa Shirazi now observes the work of another artisan, an older man, perhaps in his 60s, who is patiently, carefully coaxing intricate forms from the flat surface of the wall. With delicate, precise taps of a small hammer upon a keen, sharp chisel, he transforms the hard marble, gradually revealing the nascent shapes of flowers and leaves. From the unyielding, stony matrix, something ethereal, delicate, and magical slowly emerges into being. The relief carving, perhaps halfway realized at this point, suggesting the form of a lily, maybe, or perhaps a narcissus, gains definition and life under the architect's watchful, appraising eye. Refined stroke by careful stroke, by the slow, deliberate percussion of chisel against stone. The embossed, raised elements of the carving slowly gain dimension, seeming almost to breathe, a testament to the profound, inherent contrast between the delicate fragility of the subject, a flower, and the obdurate, unyielding nature of the medium. Beauty, it seems, resides latent within all things, merely awaiting the patient, skilled hand of the artist to unveil it, working steadily, gradually, with unwavering focus. When Ustad Isa Shirazi finally deems the carver's progress satisfactory, he turns and proceeds towards the innermost chamber, the hallowed central space housing the symbolic tomb, the cenotaph of the beloved empress, Arjumand Banu, laid to rest within this sanctuary but a few short years past. A palpable hush seems to descend further as you prepare to cross the threshold into this most sacred, somber place. An atmosphere steeped in profound reverence and deep tranquility pervades the air as you enter the room. Centered within the octagonal chamber rests the exquisitely adorned cenotaph, encircled by an incredibly intricate, perforated marble screen, or jali. This delicate barrier, reminiscent in style of the window screens observed earlier yet far denser, more complex in its execution, reveals upon closer inspection that its apparent gaps are actually formed by meticulously interwoven floral carvings, stems, leaves, and blossoms rendered with astonishing delicacy and geometric precision, the stalks and tiny leaves spaced with perfect, harmonious evenness. Such breathtaking artistry speaks volumes, offering a silent, eloquent testimony to the depth of the bond that must have existed between the emperor and his empress, the profound love that spurred the creation of something so surpassingly beautiful in her honor. The cenotaph itself is the very definition of beauty and grace. Its surfaces sumptuously decorated with inlaid calligraphy of exquisite quality, rendering the 99 names of Allah as given in the Quran. Though the precise meaning of each individual name escapes your understanding, the sheer aesthetic beauty of the elegant black script flowing against the pristine white marble, its fluid, rhythmic curves, its graceful, looping, slanting forms, holds you utterly captive, transfixed. Sunlight penetrates this inner sanctum too, filtering softly through the high jalis. Yet here, it seems subtly altered, imbued with a deeper, softer amber tone than in the outer chamber. Perhaps merely a trick of the changing angle of the sun, or simply that it is later in the day at this point. It casts intricate, shifting patterns across the richly inlaid marble floor beneath your feet. Before long, however, you observe that Ustad Isa Shirazi is preparing to leave this inner chamber. You follow respectfully as he walks through a connecting passage, one wall of which is lined with immense, jolly screens, echoing the complex patterns seen elsewhere throughout the structure. Your quiet footfalls resonate softly against the polished stone walls in the relative silence. The architect is making his way towards the rear of the vast complex, intending, you surmise, to inspect the progress on the flanking structures. The mosque to the west, and its symmetrical counterpart, the Jawab, or guest house, to the east, both still visibly under construction, rising steadily towards completion. A flicker of curiosity tempts you. Should you follow him? It's true. You are curious to witness these adjacent marvels taking shape. Yet, as you emerge from the confines of the passage onto the broad, open marble platform situated at the rear of the main mausoleum, the vista that unfolds before you arrests your movement. Here, directly behind the central edifice, the Yamuna River reveals itself fully, a wide, placid ribbon of silver reflecting the deepening blue of the morning sky. While Ustad Isa Shirazi proceeds with his inspection duties, this expansive terrace being largely finished, requiring less of his immediate attention, you elect to linger here for a while. The mosque and the Jawab can wait for another time. Standing near the marble balustrade at the platform's edge, you draw a slow, deep, cleansing breath. The day has matured slightly now, yet the air retains its essential cool freshness, now gently kissed by a comforting, burgeoning warmth from the steadily climbing sun. It settles upon the skin like a soft benediction, fostering a profound sense of quiet contentment. You lay a hand upon the smooth marble of the boundary wall, running your fingers slowly across its flawless, polished surface, cool and silken beneath your touch. Stroking the smooth stone, you contemplate the immense, almost unimaginable human endeavor crystallized in this place. Thinking of the countless skilled individuals, the legions of laborers who gave so much of their time, their energy, their artistry to manifest Emperor Khurram's magnificent dream into tangible reality. Your gaze drifts out over the wide expanse of the Yamuna River, your thoughts meandering gently like the slow current below. The mausoleum's beauty is intrinsic, absolute, breathtaking in its own right, you think. Yet the river, its constant, living presence, its soft, distant murmur, undeniably lends another layer, another profound dimension, another resonance to the experience of visiting this extraordinary place. The water flows pristine and clear between its wide banks. Downstream, near the river's edge, a pair of horses dip their muzzles gracefully to drink before wandering slowly onward. It would be effortless, you muse, wonderfully easy, to remain right here for the next couple of hours, simply gazing out at the river, allowing your mind to wander freely through all the wonderful, intricate sights you have been privileged to witness this morning. There will undoubtedly be more to do later, other obligations, other sights perhaps. But for this precious interlude, this moment of quiet reflection, stillness suffices. You sense, with a quiet certainty, that this day, this experience, is etching itself permanently onto the deepest layers of your memory, the Taj Mahal itself becoming an indelible part of your inner landscape. Tonight, sleep will likely conjure vivid, recurring visions of vibrant Pietra Dura vines unfurling gracefully across luminous white marble surfaces, all underscored by the fresh, clear, persistent song of the river flowing eternally in the background. The profound love that conceived and built this sanctuary feels almost palpable, radiating outwards from every exquisitely carved petal, every meticulously inlaid verse, every perfectly balanced architectural element. Like uncounted souls before you, and like countless more yet to come across the unfolding centuries, you find yourself utterly, completely captivated, mesmerized by its sublime grandeur, its ethereal beauty. This place, this feeling, will surely linger in your thoughts for days, perhaps weeks to come, serving as a profound, luminous reminder of the astonishing beauty this world can hold, stirring within you a deep and abiding gratitude for the simple, precious privilege of witnessing it. Let your breath settle into its own quiet rhythm. Allow the image of your peaceful sanctuary to dissolve, replaced now by the vast cerulean expanse off Australia's coast. Sunlight, thick and golden, pours down as you find yourself aboard a motorboat, the Sea Sprite, easing towards a diminutive island lush with palms and tangled vegetation. The murmur of waves accompanies the boat's steady thrum, a gentle percussion against the hull. The sea breeze kisses your skin. Piercing the distance, a stark white tower declares itself, the lighthouse of Azure Cay. Here, our narrative unfurls. The Sea Sprite advances purposefully toward this charmingly named isle. Nearing the shore, Silas, the boatman, cuts the engine. Silence descends, amplifying the soft sigh of waves against the white fiberglass. Peering over the gunwale, you witness immense shoals of minuscule fish darting through the shallows, their collective movement casting fleeting, rippling shadows across the pale umber sand below. Your gaze lifts to the island's miniature forest, fragrant palms and eucalyptus mingling their scents, their leaves shivering in the breeze, a soft perfume carried out to you on the air. Above this verdant canopy rises the lighthouse, its stillness a striking counterpoint to the restless foliage and water. The rustling leaves sound like a gentle ovation, a welcome to this small but captivating stretch of land. As you drift closer, the coastline reveals its palette. Transparent shallows expose the sandy bottom, transitioning further out into the variegated greens and blues of the deeper ocean, stretching unbroken to the horizon where water melts into the pale wash of the sky. With a final glide, the boat nudges the weathered timbers of a wooden pier. You step ashore, boots thudding softly on the planks, ready for discovery. Silas offers a wave. He's off to cast his lines, but promises his return before the day wanes. The pier delivers you onto a ribbon of gleaming white sand encircling the entire quay. Stepping from wood to shore, you cross into a shaded clearing beneath tall trees. A horseshoe arrangement of huts and cabins nestles here, havens for longer stays. Running a hand over the smooth wall of one cabin, you detect a pattern of fine grooves, an echo, perhaps, of the offshore swells. Beyond the main structure, a cluster of leafy trees screens the base of the Azure Cay Lighthouse. This edifice, the island's heart and your destination, stands sentinel. Yet curiosity bids you explore the surrounding nature first. To one side, a weathered signboard details the local fauna. You scan the text, learning of the generations of creatures calling this island home. Some swimmers from the mainland, others migrants across time, all now woven into Azure Cay's unique animal community. Beginning your circumnavigation, you inhale the island's essence, the resinous perfume of palms mingled with the clean tang of salt water, the very fragrance, you feel, of a perfect coastal day. The path curves gently, the pier soon lost to view. After a time, the allure of the water proves irresistible. Distant reefs buffer the island, leaving the nearshore waters calm, inviting. Slipping off your shoes, you wade in, the coolness rising up your legs. Then, a full immersion, gliding through the refreshing sea. You turn onto your back, floating, cradled by the gentle current. The midday sun is potent, so you close your eyes, surrendering to the water's embrace. Cool sea supporting your back. Warm sun blessing your face. Only the quiet murmur of water surrounds you. After minutes adrift, profoundly relaxed, you feel ready to proceed. Wading back, shoes donned, you traverse the sand to find a narrow, well-trodden path meandering through palms and coconut trees. Fallen fruit litters the ground. You stoop to pick up a coconut. Its stiff, fibrous husk, rough against your palm. It feels heavy, ripe. Returning to the beach, where small rocks lie scattered in careless heaps, you strike the coconut against a jagged edge. It cracks, releasing a fountain of juice that sparkles in the sunlight. Tilting the broken shell above you, you let the liquid cascade into your mouth. Fresh, sweet, quenching. Once drained, you use the rock again, splitting the shell into perfect halves, then quarters. 4 crescent moons of white flesh gleaming on the sand. One by one, you lift the pieces and eat the delicious meat. Crisp, yet surprisingly tender and juicy, releasing a sweet tropical aroma. Satisfied, you continue your walk through the trees. A low, persistent buzzing emanates from a nearby palm. Soon, you spot its source. A beehive, curiously pineapple-shaped, hanging heavy, causing the palm trunk to lean and creak faintly. Giving it a wide berth, you push through long, reedy grass and emerge once more onto the beach that rings the island, leading inevitably back towards the pier and the tall stone structure that commands this place. At last, you stand before the Azure Cay Lighthouse. Its entrance stands open, grand, red-painted double doors set into perfectly smooth, rounded walls. Midway up, tall, ledged windows punctuate the stone, perhaps 10 meters high. Above them circles a viewing deck, crowned by the massive lantern housing, its roof seeming almost comically small atop the towering structure like a jaunty cap. You step inside, into a small entrance hall where sunlight streams through high windows. A huge spiraling staircase dominates the space, clinging to the circular walls. At ground level, the lighthouse feels quiet, still, and faintly damp. The immense thickness of the walls speaks of battles against fierce winds. Furnishings are sparse. Just 2 plush armchairs. Black and white tiles checker the floor, while the white-painted staircase boasts an ornate wrought iron banister. You begin the ascent, your footsteps echoing in the cylindrical chamber. Pausing on the first landing to catch your breath, you inhale deeply, then exhale. Even here, inside stone, the potent scent of the ocean persists, carried on the breeze. A chair rests by the window. You sit for a moment, leaning back, gazing out. Beyond the fringe of palms, the ocean glitters, an endless blue. Rested, you rise, eager to reach the summit. The staircase narrows as it climbs, illuminated now by glorious shafts of sunlight pouring through the upper windows. Finally, the last step. You emerge into a bright room with sloping walls. Your attention snags on a pretty mosaic decorating one wall. Moving closer, you discern the artwork. A green lizard lounging in the shade of a coconut palm. Imagination, perhaps, but the lizard seems to wear a contented smile. Across the room, an open doorway leads out onto the viewing deck. You step through, into the brilliant light. 20 meters above the ground, it feels like suspension in the sky itself. The panorama steals your breath. Endless ocean surrounds the island. Near the shore, the coral reef appears as a dark blue smudge within the aquamarine shallows. Though you know, up close, it would be an underwater forest of kaleidoscopic color, teeming with fish of every size. This reef, of course, is the lighthouse's raison d'être. Your gaze shifts from the magnificent vista to a sign affixed to the railing. You read, "A century ago, Azure Cay was uncharted. Its existence remained largely unknown until a grand merchant vessel vanished. Years later, a search team discovered the ship's fate. Collision with the coral reef. They found the hull protruding from the water like an iceberg near this small island. For years, the wreck lay undisturbed by humans, claimed by wildlife. Herons and kites nested amongst its decaying structures. Then one day, the last visible part slipped beneath the waves. Now submerged, the shipwreck near the reef is a lure for divers." As you finish reading, you sense a presence nearby. Turning, you see a man in a flannel shirt and jeans, his expression open and welcoming. He introduces himself as Elias, the lighthouse keeper, extending a hand. His skin feels dry, leathery, weathered by sun and toil. Curiosity stirs about the life lived here. Elias walks to the far side of the lookout, beckoning you to follow. A small steel ladder ascends towards the giant lantern. Climbing, you feel powdery rust coat your fingertips. Elias has already reached the top, 20 rungs above. Joining him, you stand beside the stone structure supporting the light. Directly beneath the lamp, a small doorway leads into the keeper's room. He invites you in. The ceiling is low, the room surprisingly dim. A small bed, a battered chest of drawers, a stack of books furnish the space. Inhaling, you notice the pervasive salty scent. The sea permeates even this muted light. Elias moves to the far side and opens a hatch in the ceiling. He scales the descending ladder with practiced ease, calling for you to follow. Climbing up behind him, you find yourself standing right beside the massive light mechanism. Concentric rings of bulbs create a rippling visual effect. Sunlight glints off the reflective dish behind them. Peering into the complex lens, you see a beautiful, fragmented distortion of the world. Abstract patches of your own face mingled with sky and sea. The bulbs radiate a dazzling silver potential. You settle into a nearby chair, watching Elias, wondering. He fiddles beneath the lamp assembly, twisting wires, employing specialized tools. His movements create a slow, metallic rhythm. A mechanical heartbeat you find yourself breathing along with for a moment. It seems he's forgotten your presence. But then he looks up, smiling at your evident interest. Let me tell you how things work around here, he offers, his voice soft, mellow. You listen intently. There are 2 of us keepers, he begins. Me and Finn. We do 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. He's due tomorrow morning, brings the boat and supplies. We'll spend the day catching up. Maybe play some cards, eat. I head back to the mainland in the evening. These days, I tend to sleep from about 5 a.m. till noon. Then I'll swim, cook, relax a bit. Afternoons for any jobs needing done. He pauses, gesturing towards the horizon. Sunset's something else here. You should stay for that. Once it's dark, it's showtime. Switch on the light, check the logs for planned voyages, get on the radio, see what's happening. Just making sure everything runs smooth. That's a job well done, I reckon. While Elias speaks, you gaze out the window. Sunset is indeed approaching. The sun hovers just above the water, poised for its plunge. Wispy clouds trail behind it, drifting slowly along the edge of the world. Glancing back at the keeper, you see him hunch slightly, focused on something in his lap. You approach quietly. He's drawing, sketching a small parakeet in flight amidst palm fronds. Elias explains that sketching helps pass the time on shift. He offers to show you more. Descending briefly into his cabin, he reappears clutching 2 crisp sheets of paper. The drawings are lovely. One, stark in black and white, captures a sea snake's sinuous form as it glides into deeper water. The intricate detail on its striped body seems familiar. The other, softly shaded with colored pencils, evokes a warm atmosphere. Happy visitors seated outdoors, enjoying a meal of vibrant orange fish and coconut curry. Silas, the boatman who brought you, is there too, grinning as he strums a guitar for the holiday makers. Suddenly, you recognize the style from postcards sold in mainland souvenir shops. When you mention this, Elias nods, pleased. Aye, those are mine, he confirms. He gestures again towards the window. The sun is setting now. Half the disk seems to rest upon the ocean, its reflection completing the fiery orb on the dazzling water. The sky ignites, a watercolor wash of orange and pink. You watch the sun sink, retreating until only residual rays linger. Looking at Elias, you're struck by his expression, a quiet smile, fine lines crinkling the corners of his eyes. Perhaps it's gratitude, you think, for the daily privilege of this spectacle. With the sun gone, it's time for the keeper's primary duty. A sense of anticipation fills the small space. Elias moves behind the light mechanism. He pulls 4 levers sequentially, activating each section. Then, reaching down, he flips another switch on the mount. The great lamp begins its slow rotation. From this height, you witness the perfect arc of the intense beam sweeping out, illuminating the reef, searching the darkening sea for approaching vessels. You realize your own time has come. Silas might be waiting at the pier. You shake Elias's hand, thanking him for an unforgettable day. Then, descending the cool steel ladder, you return to the viewing deck. One last look at the panorama, now transformed into a still, starlit tableau. The ocean sighs below, and a soft breeze whispers a farewell. You re-enter the stone tower, the spiral staircase descending beneath you. Carefully, step by step, you make your way down the long flight, pausing occasionally to peer through the narrow wall slits, catching final glimpses of the night view. Emerging from the lighthouse, you head towards the beach to find Silas. The night air holds a different perfume now. The island's daytime tropical sweetness replaced by a deeper, dreamier earthiness, the scent of lush, nocturnal vegetation. On the beach, you discover Silas hadn't just waited. He'd strung a hammock between 2 palms and surrendered to sleep. He sways gently, mirroring the motion of the sea sprite tethered nearby. He looks so peaceful, you haven't the heart to wake him just yet. Perhaps a brief rest for yourself too, before the journey back. You lie down on the cool, soft sand, gazing up at the dense scatter of stars. Above, the lighthouse beam performs its periodic sweep, a hypnotic pendulum across the celestial canvas. Back and forth, across the sky, across the stars. You close your eyes, drawing a deep, relaxed breath and letting it go. It is time to rest now, to dream of this perfect day.